You're listening to the Flip Houses Like a Girl podcast, where we educate, empower, and celebrate everyday women who are facing their fears, juggling family and business, embracing their awesomeness, and wholeheartedly chasing their dream of flipping houses. Each episode delivers honest-to-goodness tools, tips, and strategies you can implement today to get closer to your first or next successful house flip. Here's your spiky-haired, breakfast taco-loving host, house flipping coach, Debbie DeBerry.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode. It's been a hot minute since I've read some of your reviews, and I'm so sorry. I totally spaced on that. They mean so much to me, so please do keep them coming, and I will be better at reading them on the air, because I read them off the air and it just helps me feel like, okay, what I'm doing actually matters. And I'm perhaps instilling in one more woman out there that she absolutely 100% can chase her dream of flipping houses. And she can do it confidently, and she can have a freaking great time along the way. All right. So this shout out goes to Curvette76. She says, Debbie clearly cares about flipping homes in a way that benefits all parties: seller, contractors, vendors, and buyers. I'm inspired by her enthusiasm and her positive attitude. It's contagious. I feel lucky to have her as a resource and a mentor in the process. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Really, it means everything. And thank you for taking the time out to let me know that what I'm doing actually matters. All right. So today's episode, I want to talk about leadership because it's really important. And this is an excerpt from Facebook Live that I recently did. So if you want to see the video, go check it out on my Facebook page, the Flipstress. All right. Okay. Let's jump into it. We're going to talk about 9 leadership traits that you have got to have when running any business. Specifically, obviously, we're talking about flipping houses. Okay. Okay. Let's jump in. There's too much focus, I feel like, on the steps, right? Debbie, just tell me the steps of flipping houses. That's all I need. Just the steps of flipping houses. Honey, you need so much more than just the steps of flipping houses. What I mean is that, well, you've got to have a lot of internal work. Like, we've got to work on mindset. We've got to work on, a lot of times, on self-esteem and confidence and trusting ourselves. That's a big one. And we need to talk about you stepping up and leading. I mean, if you're running a business, you're the leader, right? You've got to show up as the leader. So that's exactly what I want to talk about today. All right. So second cup, I love you / I love tacos so much. All right. That's today's coffee cup with Debbie DeBerry. Today is about leadership. All right. So if you are not leading properly, if you're not leading your team right, even if you're not subbing out all the work, okay, even if you have a GC, you are still leading your company. You're still leading your business. And if you aren't stepping fully into that role as a leader, I guarantee you're leaving money on the table. I guarantee you could be making a bigger profit. You could be making a bigger impact if you fully step into being a leader. All right. All I can see is the stupid third eye pimple that I had. Whatever. I don't care. And my COVID hair, which is very long. Besides all that, let's talk about leadership. All right. And I want to talk about, to me, what I have seen in my bazillions of years as a small business owner, 24 years as a small business owner, and coaching women in business as well. All right. So I have to look at my notebook. Look, I have a handy dandy notebook. All right. I am not trying to pretend that I freaking can memorize every single thing I want to say. I am human and I make mistakes, and I'm in my 40s, which means my memory isn't the best. All right. So notebook. Okay. Here are the four. I can't even remember the freaking number. 5, 6, 9. Let's go with 9 things that I think and I have witnessed make a good leader. All right. Number 1 is you've got to be able to respond to situations instead of react. All right, what's the difference, Debbie? So if I'm responding to something that comes up, or actually if I'm reacting, this is what I'm doing. Holy crap, wait, what happened? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you stupid? Okay, that's reacting. Responding is taking a deep breath, thinking first, and then responding. Oh, wow, tell me more. What happened? Do you feel the difference? And do you feel how being on the other side of that feels a lot better than being on the other side of this super reactive, intense person? All right, so respond versus react. All right, number 2. You've got to firmly believe and trust that any and every problem that comes up has a solution. You do not have to have the solution right now, okay? You have to have people to go to for solutions. It doesn't mean you have to have all the solutions, but it means that you have to truly believe that every problem is solvable, okay? All right, number 3. A good leader uses their voice to protect themselves and to protect other people. All right. So a prime example of this is me. Man, it took me a few years to really find and feel confident in my voice when I started working with contractors. 12, 13, well, longer ago, because when I went with my rentals, so 15 years ago, when I first started working with contractors, I had to find my voice. And instead of, this is what I would do. Oh, you know what? Like something would come up. Oh, that's fine. I'll figure it out. It's okay that they can't come until next week instead. No, it's not okay because it's my money. It's my money. Time is money. And if they're taking longer, they're wasting more of my money. All right. So I had to find my voice in regard to that. And then the part about speaking up to protect other people. Also, if you see people being mistreated, please stand up for them. Please use your voice and say, hey, that's not okay. Please. Regardless whether you're business or personal life, it's really freaking hard. And that's really scary. But being brave means doing scary things and hard things. And you can do hard things and you can do scary things. All right. Okay. So number 4, it kind of comes back to or speaks to number 2. But number 4 is you've got to be resourceful. Okay. You have got to be able to be willing to reach out to people and ask questions. Okay. You don't have to have all the answers, but you have to use your voice and ask questions. All right. You are the only person in your way of being successful in any business. You're the only person in the way. Okay. All right. Number 5. Okay. So you've got to be able to handle change. That's a tough one for some people. I moved around so much growing up. Basically, I was in a different school every year when I was in elementary school. So I quickly had to get used to change. Okay. Some people who didn't have that same sort of experience, they grew up in the same house their entire life. Change is really hard. You've got to get used to change, and you've got to be okay with change. All right. The next one, number six, you've got to be a great communicator. So that doesn't mean that you've got to be able to stand up on a stage and speak to thousands of people and inspire them. No, it just means that you need to be transparent. Okay. If you have something that you need to say, you need to say it. You can't assume the other person knows what you want. That's, I see it a lot with contractors. Oh, but he didn't do the tile right. Well, did you tell him how you wanted him to do the tile? No. Well, that's why he didn't do the tile right. He did the tile right in his eyes. You didn't tell him how you wanted the tile. So you've got to be a good communicator. You've got to be open. You've got to be verbal. Okay. You've got to also be very mindful in choosing your words. Okay. Because words hurt, right? We all know, and some of us more than others, words hurt. And there are just mean people out there. So let's use our words for good. Okay. All right. Another thing with the communication piece is speak with feeling. Like if people feel that. If people feel that you care and feel that you're passionate about something, you're going to really pull them in more. Okay. You're going to get them more on your side than if you're just gonna, I'm a robot. I talk like this. I don't let people in my bubble. No, can't do that. Okay. Number 7, connection. If you are one of my students in my coaching program, you know this is a big one for me because I love to connect with you guys. So even if you aren't, I love to connect with you guys. All right. You've got to, in order to be a good leader, you've got to connect with people. You have to build relationships, and you've got to maintain those relationships. And sometimes that's hard, but it's really important. This is absolutely a relationship business. All right. Pretty much any business is, but we're talking about flipping houses right now. So this is a relationship business. Additionally, when you're connecting with people, you're doing this from a place of service. So you want to inspire them, you want to empower them and encourage them and serve the crap out of them. All right. This isn't about you. None of what we do is about us. It's about the people that we're impacting. All right. Okay. Number 8, good leaders know who they are and who they aren't. And they're okay with that. They don't try to be every person. They don't try to wear every single hat. They know that they have weaknesses, and they find people to be on their team who have strengths where their weaknesses are. That's like the best kind of leader there is. All right. So know your strengths, know who you are, find people who complement those strengths and those weaknesses. And along the same lines, you've got to know what you believe in, personally and in business, right? You've got to know you and know what you believe in, all right? Have some strong convictions about things. Finally, number 9, a good leader takes responsibility for themselves, for their own success, for their project, for their personal lives, whatever. They take responsibility. They know that they are the only thing standing in their way. It's not lack of money. It's not. And why do I know that? Because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of examples of broke people who created amazing, impactful, and profitable businesses. That's not the problem. All right. You've got to take responsibility for your life, your success, your business, your future. That's it. All right. So there you have it. Those are the 9 traits or characteristics that you need to have as a business owner. All right. As a good leader. And I hope that you got some good value out of that. All right. Okay. Here's the thing. I actually have enrollment open for 2 more days in my program. So if you are ready to take things to the next level, go to firstflipdoneright.com. If you go there and it sends you to the waitlist page, you were too late and you will have to wait until the next round or the next invitation I send you to join. All right. So firstflipdoneright.com, you can join our amazing program where women are just crushing it right now. All right. Okay. Until next time, go out there, flip houses like a girl, leave people and places better than you find them, and make it a great day.